What's up, everybody? Happy Friday here on the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey, here at the Recap, capping off the week that's been, and the Four Nations tournament comes to a close. What a game. I said game 7 like. It was game 7 like. You could feel it watching the game. You get Connor McDavid netting the game-winning goal. Disappointing for sure, for obvious reasons, but the game itself lived up. I mean, I didn't know if it could match Saturday night's intensity, and maybe it didn't from an intense standpoint, but certainly from a game. Those are two teams that were evenly matched, and now it sets the table for the Olympics next year, since it's been over a decade since NHL players played in the Olympics. That was must-see TV, must-see theater, and unfortunately, the United States came up on the short end, but they're right there. They've closed the gap between themselves and Canada. I didn't love. I understood what they were doing with the miracle sound bites. I didn't love the idea that like if we play them 10 times, they beat us 9. I'm not sure. Like I think it was just a little movie quote, but I'm not sure that worked. What's up, Randall? That worked for that particular setting. But the other question I have, and this is more bigger picture, is should other leagues consider doing a Four Nations style tournament? And before everyone's like, well, hang on, you have a sport that's got guys from all over. Yes. Okay. I'm not talking about the NFL here. I'm talking about the failure that is. I mean, the NFL Pro Bowl stinks, but Major League Baseball All-Star Game, I've long said the White Sox, I told my friend Brooks Boyer this, the White Sox should do a Dominican Winter League night, because I've been to a Dominican Winter League game, and I'm telling you, it's an atmosphere like none other, and I think that would be awesome. Could you imagine doing a World Baseball Classic style, and not just doing the World Baseball Classic like every 4 years? Just that would be awesome. That's had success, okay? The NBA, we talked about the world versus the U.S. I think that has to happen. Could you imagine a team led by Jokic, Wembayama, Giannis, like those three guys on one team going against LeBron and company in the United States? Randall says, leave McDavid wide open in front of the net and it'll cost you. Yes. It was a weird situation, though, because on the faceoff, McDavid was on the faceoff, won the faceoff, and actually had a shot on goal, which is almost unheard of. Wraps around the net, finds an opening in front of the net, and the United States couldn't clear it. It had that feeling, and Sean McDonough even said, Sean McDonough was phenomenal on the broadcast. He even said, if it keeps going like this, this won't end. This won't take long. That's what he said. And it actually went almost about 10 minutes. But what's up, Lip? The Olympics need to use the NHL rules instead of the IHF's soft rules. Yeah, I don't think anyone would disagree with you on that. Thoughts on Canada not getting called? I thought the one late in the game, there's two called, like, the last one, I don't understand. I honestly don't understand how that wasn't too many men. You even saw the confusion and chaos from one of the guys trying to get off the ice. He kind of went like this because he knew. I'm not sure why that, after a third time, to your point, Randall, wasn't called. And then the icing that was called on the United States right before the goal. I didn't think that was icing. They blew the whistle too early, and I thought that that the U.S. and then the face-off goes into the other end. You go from there and you see what happens. But needless to say, unbelievable. And I honestly was I discredited the Four Nations tournament early on, but overall, just really, really good stuff. Clyde, we got 2 games. We got the Cubs and the White Sox back in action. We have Cubs and White Sox baseball in the desert. Yes, the Cubs whipped butt yesterday, but don't go all cap on me and get all excited about a bunch. The Cubs had one starter playing, Clyde. They had Michael Busch in the lineup and a bunch of other guys. So let's not get too excited about now. The Dodgers had some guys, but again, this is a spring training game. I don't get caught up in spring training games, especially the guys that are not in the starting lineup or are not going to make the team. The Sox played today. Like the rest of the league is back at it today. I'll give you the brief look ahead. The Cubs play the Dodgers again. This time they're playing them at Sloan Park, so I'm expecting to see a lot more Cubs in the lineup. And then the White Sox, I thought the White Sox played today. Maybe they play tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that was yesterday. The White Sox are playing. They make their debut tomorrow, and they play the Cubs. So the White Sox are playing the Cubs tomorrow. Justin Steele getting the start. Jared Schuster going to be out of the bullpen there. Jordan Wicks is getting the start today. I'll give you that Cubs lineup. Here is the Cubs lineup. It's Happ, Swanson, Suzuki, PCA, Amaya, Birdie, Brujan, Long, and Workman. So the bottom of the lineup are a bunch of guys that aren't going to make the team, but the top half is full of starters. Mookie Betts going for a second straight day. You got to love that. I love Mookie Betts. Tommy Edmonds playing second. Michael Conforto's in left. So they got a couple of guys that they're bringing to the table. And I thought Sean and Ray called an awesome game too, Randall. I mean, they were absolutely spectacular. Man, look at everybody. Guys, don't get too excited here about – let's pump the brakes on a one spring training game. The game today is on Marquee for those of you who get it. The Score, my alternate home on Saturdays, and I'll be with Bruce Levine tomorrow on Inside the Clubhouse. The Score also has the broadcast of today's game. But Eric, let's not get too far ahead here. PCA is changing. I did see this, Randall. PCA changing his number for those who care a lot about numbers. PCA going from 52, which didn't feel right, to number 4. Lip Ripper, I have thoughts on this one. So the White Sox re-signed Mike Clevenger, okay? I don't understand it. I don't. They brought back Mike Clevenger for a third straight year on a non-roster invite and with an invite to spring training. 2 years ago, a lot of controversy, obviously, on the signing because he was still under investigation. And actually, he pitched pretty well. Last year, he had like a 6 ERA and like 4 starts, barely pitched, was injured. You had other guys out there. You had Chris Flexen out there, who the Cubs ended up bringing in to camp on a minor league deal. Chris Flexen gave you 160 innings last year, and you got him on a minor league deal. The Cubs got him on a minor league deal. I don't understand it. I just don't like the optics of it. I know there's no lingering legal issue, but I just don't like you could have turned the page on all of this. I don't understand it. There are so many guys that are still out there. Even Ross Stripling, former All-Star, he was signed yesterday on a minor league deal to the Kansas City Royals. I don't understand why Mike Clevenger's back. And I'll happily eat my crow on this one. I'll happily say, okay, 3 months from now, the guy's in the rotation, eating up innings, pitching, etc. I don't know. I feel pretty. I just don't like this signing. This is one, and I don't like the optics of it. I don't. I thought this was a way to kind of move on and wash your hands from this and turn the page into like a new era. I don't mind signing veteran depth pieces. Like I want to be very clear here. I don't mind that at all. I don't understand why you're bringing that guy back. I don't. When you had healthy guys, I mean, Jose Quintana's still out there. Okay. Maybe now the Mets probably make a lot of sense since they have injuries for him, and he probably wants a 2-year deal. But I don't know. And he probably wants to go to a winner too. But Mike Clevenger, Randall, yes, agreed. Yeah. It's so dumb, Lipper. Give some of the prospects a chance. Clevenger should join his friend in Mexico, if you know what I mean. I do know what you mean. You're talking about Trevor Bauer. I don't okay, so I will say this, and I said this on the podcast, which is available on the channel. Me and BA did it yesterday. It was released wherever you listen to podcasts on audio, and certainly it's on the channel video form. I do think that they have an issue with arms. I don't think they have a lot of arms. They have a lot of depth. We don't even know who's pitching the 7th, 8th, and 9th. You have a lot of young guys. There's going to be some guys who get beat up along the way. Do you have enough veteran? You have Martin Perez. Do you have at least another guy that can throw 150 innings? I don't know the answer to that question right now. You're asking guys to take big step ups. That's why a guy like Clevenger, in theory, makes sense. I just like I like the guy. I'd rather have like a Flexen. I really would. Again, optics. You're trying to get the fans to buy into anything of note. right? I mean, fans are already have their hands up as they should, and they've earned that right. So don't give them a carrot, not coal. And that's what I feel like this is. Wayne says, isn't that what the White Sox do? They go through the scrap heap to save money and throw the guys on the field, and the fans will come out and eat the great food at the ballpark and watch losing baseball. Well, Wayne, this is a little different, though, because of where they are. Like, it's not like they're passing on major free agents. Major free agents aren't signing here. It's not the time. But Clevenger, I don't get it. I don't. This is you could go to the scrap heap in this case to save face. Okay, you need to help your rotation. You need to help your young guys. Yes, are you familiar with the person and the guy? Yes. Okay. He gave you nothing last year. And the optics are what they are. Lip ripper, but we're going to suck anyway. Let's see what we got. I know guys are going to struggle, but pressure makes diamonds. I know, but I just wish that there were. I'd rather the White Sox bring Lance Lynn back than Mike Clevenger. At least Lance Lynn's going to pitch. So that's where I say, Clyde, do you see White Sox first baseman Andrew Vaughn stepping up his game? I mentioned this. Actually, I think this is on the pod or maybe on the radio. I think it's a make or break year for Andrew Vaughn. I'm hoping to see like the 25 and 90 guy, but we've seen more of like the 18 to 20 and 65 to 80 guy. And I do think he got screwed a couple of years ago playing the outfield. I think it took a toll on his legs, but that's no longer an excuse. He was your everyday first baseman last year. He was a Golden Spikes winner. He's a top 5 pick. We expected more from Andrew Vaughn. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn. I like the guy. He's as good of a dude as there is. But I think we should expect more from Andrew Vaughn. And this particular player is almost making $6 million this year. So Clyde, to answer your question, I would say I expect whatever we see this year, if he takes a big step, that'll be a relief. And if he is the same guy, I think that's who he is. So we'll see. OD, happy Friday to you as well. Knicks paid well last night, but Bulls made it very interesting. Bummer the USA lost. Yeah, I was getting nervous. Cap and I were, full disclosure, we thought the Knicks were going to run away and hide in that game. The Bulls played well, and Josh Giddey was fantastic, 27 and 16. He has those games, and then tomorrow he'll probably have 9 and 4. We'll see. As long as they lose, and we're going to do a live podcast here in 15 minutes, Joe Cowley will be doing a live Bulls recap podcast. So make sure we're going to shorten this up a little bit. I'll be with him. I'm going to be feeding him the questions that are coming in from you guys about how to watch the Bulls the last 26 games. And what are you watching for? And what should we be watching for? And are they even worth watching? Joe will give you all of that because I don't have the answers to all those questions. And we'll see. Wayne, the whole team did nothing last year, Guff. Of course, the White Sox, except for disappoint. Lip, what do you think the Sox get in return if you package Robert Jr. one of these top 100 prospects? I don't see the Sox putting a top 100 prospect, attaching to them to Robert, because now you're taking from what you're trying to get to trade. I see here's what I think about Luis Robert. A lot of people think he could be traded at the end of spring training like Dylan Cease was last year. I think they're going to keep him. I think he's going to Chicago, and they're hoping like hell for 3 months they can get him to play the type of baseball that they think he can play. To me, they just got to keep him on the field. If he can prove he's healthy, which that's a big if, because he's only played 100 games in his career twice, and last year was one of them. You know how many games he played last year? Exactly 100. So that's why teams haven't lined. It's not the talent. Teams love the talent. He makes playing center field look easy. He's won a Gold Glove. It's staying on the best availability is availability, right? He's not available most of the time. Isn't Vaughn what he is? I mean, we've been waiting for something more, and that never comes. That's what I'm saying, Wayne. That's why I think this year is kind of that. Either we see it or we don't. And I think it's fair at this point in time that those expectations exist. Clyde says he doesn't like Mike Clevenger's attitude, but he has talented stuff. I'll say this about Clevenger. The clubhouse liked him. He was liked by Dylan Cease. He was liked by the pitching staff. I don't know how many people are lining up off the field. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. I don't mind the attitude because it didn't seem to be. I'll say that the White Sox aren't bringing a guy like this in if he's a clubhouse cancer because they actually have a good thing going in there. Believe it or not. Last year, as crappy of a team as they were a pretty good clubhouse. And I'm talking August and September when they were about to set the major league record. Josh, I heard Cooper Flagg may go back to Duke and not enter the draft next season. If that's the case, who should they draft if that happens? Well, where are they drafting, Josh? I don't know. I by the way, Cooper Flagg, this is about the time of year where you start to hear guys go, oh, let me take a look. And now they're getting paid in college now, so that's a part of it. They're looking at risk reward. But be careful. Like Cooper Flagg, anything could happen. If you're the number one pick, I'd be shocked if Cooper Flagg did not go if he did not go to the NBA draft. I really would. I just, when you have a shot to be the consensus number one overall pick, you go. You go. Period. Right now, I'm looking at the Bleacher Nation has a mock draft out from yesterday. And they have the Bulls taking, how do you say it, Cap? The other kid, the center from Duke, Kaman Malouk? Sorry? The guy from Duke, the center, Kaman Malouk, the center from Duke. No. That's who they have the Bulls taking right now at 8. And that's why I'm saying, Josh, at 8, he's a bandage. You're talking about Clevenger. Dustin, look at that. Another minor league signing for the Cubs. Welcome aboard, Greg Allen, a speedster being brought in for outfield depth. Maybe. But maybe more insurance. Not the guy I would probably bring into Mentor Clyde, but is what it is. A couple more here, guys. As I said, we're going to shorten things up a little bit today on a Friday as we get set for Joe Cowley and a Live Bulls podcast. Thank you, Tom Ricketts, as the Godfather, for not paying a number 2 starter. Now I have low expectations. Sorry, Guff. I never liked Robert. He can't adjust at the plate, has a few good games and swings at everything, and the opposing teams know it. Agreed. Just looking, making sure we're not missing anything here on the old socials, but we're not. Yeah, a couple more. All right, so Lip is going Marquette -1.5 and Sparty +3. Those are 2 good games tonight. I mean, it's basically it's kind of like the first Big Ten title game is tonight. I am staying away from Marquette. My initial caps on Nova. My initial thought was run to Marquette, but I did some research. Lip, I don't like Marquette tonight. I don't.
What's the line?
It's 1.5.
Yeah.
I like Nova I think Nova wins the game. Oh, Dustin, thanks for the pronunciation. Kaman Maluwach. Okay, so that's who they had him taking at number 8. Appreciate you, Wayne. All right, so let's do the bet of the day because it does line up. Sparty is not +3 right now, depending on where you shop. And I always recommend shop around because find that number. If you find that hook, if you can get the hook, find it. And in this particular case where I'm shopping, I might want to keep shopping for that. By the way, Oregon State, bad night all around last night in the gambling world. The Bulls let me down. The USA let me down. Cap and I have found a game like pretty much being played in a playground somewhere that we bet that didn't go well. And Oregon State won by 6, and the spread was 8.5. So we were on a little run right there. Oregon State couldn't pull away late against Pepperdine. They got it to 7. We're going to the free throw line to take it to 9. Guy missed the front end of a 1-and-1, and Pepperdine comes back, hits a 3, and from there it just was tight and went to free throw game, and it was a 6-point win. I'm taking Sparty. If you look at the teams of late, Sparty, especially against the number where they're getting points lately, have been a flipping pay cow. Like that cash cow, man. That's where I'm riding. And Michigan has not been. Michigan's been really good. Don't get me wrong. If you told me Michigan wins this game 75-71, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. But I'm going to go veteran versus, I'm going to go coach, the mentor. What's the word here? The old veteran teacher versus the young pupil. Dusty May's got, like, he's awesome at Michigan, right? Like, he's taken FAU to the Final Four. And in his first year at Michigan, might have him in the Big Ten title, or might have him win a Big Ten title. I love what I see from Sparty, especially they play great defense. The only thing that concerns me about Sparty tonight is they don't shoot well from beyond three. They're not a great perimeter shooting team, especially beyond the arc. Outside of Jace Richardson, who shoots around 40%, they don't shoot the three well, but they play really damn good defense. And they don't just the problem. They're not just a one-dimensional team. They can score too. That's why I like this Michigan State team a lot in the tournament. I'm going to take them in this game. Yes, it's at Michigan. It's a rivalry game, and it's a Big Ten game. So there you go, Lip. You and I are taking the Spartans, baby. Go, Tom Izzo. Oh, OD coming in with some bets. Lip has said he's convinced he's taking Nova. I'm probably staying away. So do a little research on that one. Bet the over Dayton versus Loyola and St. Peter's versus Mount St. Mary's. Plus 200 on ESPN. Bet depending on where you bet the line. And, of course, us in Illinois, you can't bet that game unless you walk into a casino. Literally the dumbest rule in betting. OD, I'm not betting it, but I think Michigan versus MSU hits the under. If I were betting a side, I would also bet the under. I hate betting unders, though, because life is too short for the unders. And Lip, I'll throw one last one in. Mississippi State Bulldogs laying the run line. Y'all have a great weekend, man. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it. We're trending up. I heard a cardinal when I came outside today, and I said, where are you? Because I always believe that's a great sign, and it certainly means spring's right around the corner. It's sunny today. It's going to be mid-40s next week. Let's freaking go as we turn the calendar into March, because March, we are going to go like this, folks. We're going to debut a new series here on the channel next week, and there's a lot to come for what we got going. Bulls Recap Podcast, live with Joe Cowley. I'll come in. I'll throw him all your questions. So take a break, get a drink, come back in 8 minutes, join the channel. A Bulls Recap Podcast coming your way. For everybody here at the Recap, for Cap, for me, I'm Guff. It's the Recap Lunch Hour with Ryan McGuffey. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.